Yeah, so we're now arresting people for literally trying to better themselves and their families. As a Michigan woman faces 10 years in prison for selling baked goods bought with food stamps. Now, for the uneducated, judging by the comment section of that post, it's a lot of people. People seem to be under the impression that she used her food stamp to buy like pre-made, pre-packaged snacks and then sold them for profit. Which, to be fair, I still wouldn't care. But no, she literally went to the store to buy baking ingredients, which she then used to make homemade goods that she sold online. I.e., she was buying eggs, flour, baking soda, salt, all the things. You know, food. And I'm sure those ingredients went to other things in her household. And she used that money to pay her bills, to pay off debt. And now she is facing 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine because she bought baking ingredients. This woman is facing 10 years in prison for having the audacity to use her food stamps to buy food and then try and use that to better her position financially into a more stable position, which is supposed to be the entire point of assistance. What are we doing here?
I am walking through the grocery store right now, and I thought it would be a good time to tell you guys about how on November 1st, if they stop SNAP benefits, how it's going to affect you, whether you're on food stamps or not. So the USDA has come out and made a statement that because of the government shutdown on November 1st, they are going to have insufficient funds to put towards the SNAP program. So what this means is that 42 million Americans will not have their food stamps starting November 1st. Let's put this into a little bit of perspective. On November 1st, there are going to be 42 million people that cannot afford to go to the grocery store and buy food, right? Grocery stores are going to lose millions of dollars. By the way, I just bought vanilla extract and milk. It cost me $16.57. Wow. When 42 million people are not spending their money at the grocery store because they're having to go to soup kitchens or, food pantries, who's going to lose money? And do we think they're just going to be okay with that? Of course not. They can't cut into their bottom line, so what are they going to do? They're going to jack up the prices. They're going to lay people off. They're going to cut people's hours. They're going to not order as many shipments of food. Who brings the food to the grocery stores? Truck drivers? They're not going to have the loads that they did before because the demand is down. Where do the trucks get the products? At distribution centers? So distribution centers won't need the same amount of workers. They won't need people there every day. They'll probably let people go home early, stay home, maybe lay people off. What about the farmers that have all this food to move and nowhere to send it? So they're just going to be sitting on stockpiles of food, a lot of it perishable, that has nowhere to go. This is going to be a massive ripple that goes out and affects multiple people across multiple facets of this chain. Because the people at the top are not going to lose money. They're going to make sure of that. And how many times has something gone up and then come back down when things got better? That doesn't happen. So when those grocery prices go up 1, 2, 3%, they're already up 3% this year. When they go up even more, they're going to stay there. They're not going to bring them back down when everything settles. So we remember when the grocery prices went up the first time, that would have been when all the minimum wages went up because they said we need to pay people more so that they can actually afford to live. And as we suspected, that was reflected in the increase in grocery prices. Really, food prices across the board. Also, just for reference, I looked it up. In 2024, the average SNAP benefit per person was $187. I don't know if you've been to a grocery store in the last year. $187 doesn't go very far. But that was $187 that was getting spent at the grocery store that is no longer going to be getting spent there for 42 million people. The more you know, the more you grow.
All right, maybe a hot take, but I don't give a fuck how the freezing of SNAP benefits in a week is going to affect me. I really don't. And it's crazy to me that so many people are only starting to give a fuck that 42 million people, 39% of which are kids, are about to lose their SNAP benefits is because they're starting to realize how it could affect them. Whether that means small grocery stores in their area go out of business or the cost of food rises for them. I don't give a fuck about that. I give a fuck that 42 million people are about to struggle to survive as the weather gets colder, as the holidays start rolling around. That's what I give a fuck about. I give a fuck that 39% of them are children. I give a fuck that so many of them are disabled or elderly and can't get to a food pantry. I give a fuck that these food pantries are not going to be able to keep up with this. And as much as I try to push out videos of how people can help food pantries in their area, what they need, how to contact them, how to volunteer, how to donate, it's not enough. It's not going to be enough. There are going to be millions and millions of people who struggle to survive. That's what I give a fuck about. I don't understand why so many people cannot care about their neighbor unless it starts to touch them. These videos that I'm trying to make to help as many people as possible, only 2 of them are getting pushed out. The other 2 are like dead in the water. And I have gotten great engagement on them. So many people are liking, commenting, reposting, sharing, tagging me in things, tagging other creators. And it's still not enough. It's not going far enough. And they keep getting comments like, "You're my hero, you're an angel, God bless you. This is amazing. Thank you. I'm scared. I'm struggling. My friends are scared. I'm disabled. I can't get to it. I'm a single mother." And while I very much appreciate comments like those, and they get me honestly emotional every time I see them, like this is the fucking bare minimum. This is the bare minimum. Why is such a small act of kindness, something that just takes me a little while to research and post a video on, why is that like seen as this monumental thing? I'm feeling like so fucking just disenfranchised and helpless, and I'm really trying not to, but now Mike Johnson has sent Congress home for another fucking week. I'm really struggling the last few days to try to keep some hope with this, but like the truth of the matter is these food pantries are not gonna be able to fucking keep up. The donations are not gonna be able to keep up. They're not a complete swap out for SNAP benefits. And I'm really worried about my neighbors. I'm really worried about my fellow Americans. Like, how did we fucking get here? When is enough gonna be enough? There's so much fucking evil in this country. I don't know how we get through this. And I'm trying to help as much as I can, but it's not enough. And I don't know what else to do.
42 million Americans just lost their food assistance. Government shutdown, SNAP benefits frozen, and the internet, complete meltdown. People threatening to rob Walmart, filming themselves stealing with their kids. A woman mad she can't keep her BMW and $4,000 in monthly food stamps, and others acting like this is all just fine. Bootstrap economics at its finest. Here's what's wild. A lot of the folks screaming about government handouts being cut, they cheered for the same policies that caused this mess. Look, genuinely struggling families losing food, that's a crisis. But when you're posting your crimes online, or complaining you can't fraud the system anymore, we've got a problem. This isn't just about hunger, it's about consequences, contradictions, and the gap between what people say they believe and what they do when reality hits. Welcome back to Mind Mirror. Let's break down the chaos. Let's get into it.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
All right. So they done cut off the food stamps. Shout out to the people that told you to go ahead and grow your own food, because that, at the end of the day, is the best results, the best plan of action. But I got one for you. Walmart shaking in their boots, Aldi's. We got Walmart shaking in their boots, because guess what, y'all? I done got something for y'all. Why did Walmart come out with a $42 feed the family for 4 deal? It'll cost you $4 a person. And it's a whole list of things. And it include a butterball turkey. Now, all y'all talking about some y'all was going to go into Walmart and steal. Walmart said, I'll be damned. Y'all better come get y'all a $42 box with that butterball turkey and sit down somewhere and make it work.
So Walmart drops a $42 family meal deal with a whole turkey. Smart business move. They see desperation, they see opportunity, they fill the gap. Here's the problem. This only helps if you've got $42 sitting around. For families who relied entirely on SNAP, that money doesn't exist. Their grocery budget just went from $300 down to zero overnight. The save $1 a day advice sounds practical until you realize people are living dollar to dollar. No cushion, no savings. That's reality for millions of working Americans. We need to be honest. There are 2 groups here. People who genuinely depend on SNAP, working families, seniors, people with disabilities. Then there's people abusing the system. Both exist. Walmart's not saving anybody. They're making money off a crisis. Meanwhile, people who spent years voting to shrink government programs are learning what that actually looks like.
If you elderly and you ain't got it, you want a fixed income, you can save $1 a day starting today and feed yourself for $40 or $42 at Walmart, and you can have it delivered. And you could take some stuff out of the meal because it'll be cheaper. Now that's what I call results.
All right, now they said in November they cutting this SNAP program, they cutting the food stamps, and people are pissed. Now, I genuinely feel bad for the individuals who can't work and do have to collect these benefits. But for those of you that have working hands and feet that choose to stay home and collect these benefits, I don't feel bad for you. And to all of you that are talking about, I'm walking up in that store and I'm taking what I want and I'm not paying for it and I better not get touched, keep that same energy when the cops come. Keep that same energy when you're standing before the judge. Keep that same energy when you're sitting in a cell. Keep that same energy when your children have sleepless nights because their parents are sitting somewhere in a cold cell because they wanted to do something reckless.
Keep that same energy. That line hits different when you think about what comes next. Threatening to steal isn't desperation, it's performance. Real desperation is quiet. It's hitting food banks at 6 a.m. It's swallowing your pride and asking family for help. You know what happens when you steal and post it online? You hand prosecutors a gift-wrapped case, video evidence, your face, your voice, everything they need. And then what? Criminal record, court fees, probation costs, all because you wanted to feel tough on TikTok. There's a massive difference between doing what you have to do quietly to feed your family and filming yourself breaking the law like it's content. One is survival, the other is stupidity. The wildest part? A lot of these people spent years voting for tough on crime policies, but now that they're facing consequences, suddenly the system is unfair.
That mentality will get you nowhere, and I don't know why we're not realizing this in 2025. You can't just walk up in a store and take what you want. Nobody owes you anything. If it was really that serious to you and you really needed those benefits, you would prioritize. Getting your hair, nails, and lashes done is not a necessity. Name brand shoes and clothes are not a necessity. And let's not forget, this halt is temporary. A permanent solution to a temporary problem is not worth the risk. So go ahead, run up in them people's store and take what you want. Let's see what happens.
If you're genuinely struggling, resources exist. Food banks, churches, community programs, mutual aid. Are they perfect? No, but they're real options that don't involve jail time. The problem is some people don't want help. They want their exact lifestyle maintained without adjustment. That's where entitlement shows up. Walking into a store and taking what you want doesn't hurt the government. It hurts the minimum wage worker dealing with chaos. It hurts other shoppers, and it destroys your future when you're sitting in county over a cart of food. Should the government have prevented this shutdown? Obviously. But stealing doesn't solve systemic problems. It creates personal ones. This isn't revolutionary action. It's short-sighted self-destruction. And the people cheering it on aren't the ones who will live with a felony for the next decade.
Yo, why is everybody who getting their food stamps turned off getting online talking about they gonna be in the grocery store stealing and knocking people out and stuff? What do y'all have records, like criminal records? Because I'm trying to figure out why you got to do all that. Why you just can't go and try to get you some type of job? Why you can't do that?
42 million Americans are about to go hungry. It's actually super fucked up. SNAP, which is a food assistance program here in the United States, is about to collapse. Thank you, government shutdown. And the longer the government stays shut down, the longer this means that millions of people may not be able to get food to eat. Many people rely on this as their sole source of food income. If they don't get their SNAP benefits, they aren't eating. SNAP funds groceries for 42 million Americans every single month. That is 1 out of 8 people in this country. But because the government hasn't passed a funding bill since October 1st, it's about to run out of money. And if the shutdown continues going, people could be losing their access to food as early as November. Like, SNAP covers food for working people, families, seniors, people with disabilities, veterans. But instead of our government coming together and finding a solution for once, of course, the government shut down again. And this time, so far, it's the second longest shutdown the United States has ever had.
This is what people miss. The government shutdown isn't one problem, it's dozens hitting simultaneously. Federal workers not getting paychecks, programs frozen, services shut down, all because politicians would rather play chicken with the budget than govern. The richest country on earth can't keep its lights on because elected officials refuse to compromise. And who pays the price? Not them. They still get paid. They're still comfortable. It's always the average person who gets hit first and hardest. 42 million people lose food access. Federal employees work without pay. Essential services grind to a halt. But the politicians? They're fine. And here's the bitter irony. A lot of folks losing benefits now spent years voting for exactly this. Smaller government, less spending. Well, this is what that looks like in practice.
That also means that hundreds of thousands of federal workers are also either furloughed or working without pay. Think about that. The richest country on earth can't pay its federal employees right now because they don't want to. The government is using real human lives as leverage in this fucking political bitch fight. Like, I don't think people understand that when the United States government gets shut down, it isn't the government that is suffering. It's the average working class citizen that suffers first. It's us that's hurting, or is going to.
People are now putting words into action after threatening to steal from Walmarts and grocery stores after not receiving their EBT cards after the government shutdown.
Food stamps away, I'm going to Walmart. I'm going to rank up any damn Walmart, throw this shit right in the basket. I'm going right about that bitch. Move, get the fuck away. I'm not paying for a damn thing.
And now just a few days later, people are not only stealing from stores, but they're posting videos online with their kids talking about it.
Yeah, I told y'all, with or without EBT, me and mine gonna eat.
People are stealing, filming it, posting it online, with their kids in the frame, creating a digital paper trail of felonies. What exactly did they think was going to happen? You're not hurting the government by robbing Walmart. You're giving prosecutors the easiest case they'll work all year. Video evidence, your face, your voice, gift-wrapped, and worse, you're teaching your children that crime is acceptable when you're upset, that laws don't matter if you disagree with them. Here's the tell. The people filming these videos aren't truly desperate. When you're actually struggling to feed your family, you don't have time for TikTok performances. You're focused on solutions. This is outrage theater, and it's going to cost them way more than they realize when those court dates start rolling in.
And now workers of Walmart are saying that they are ready, meaning they plan on stopping you if you do decide to steal. Now it does seem that it's just the month of November that you may not receive your EBT card because of lack of funds due to the government shutdown, and you could probably expect it to come back around December. But like this gentleman right here, he does not care and plans on eating this Thanksgiving with or without EBT.
All I know is if I don't receive my benefits this month, the food stamps, I feel bad for the motherfucking shop, right?
Somebody reported me to the state of Michigan because I'm making money on TikTok and I drive a 2024 BMW. They have cut my food stamps from almost $4,000 a month down to $88 a month. They are telling me if I want a review that I have to sell my car. So you're telling me if you were on welfare, food stamps, cash assistance, Section 8, you can't drive a nice car? They are forcing me to sell my brand new BMW, or I lose almost $4,000 in food stamps. Not only that, they have taken my cash assistance totally away. They are telling me that Section 8 will no longer be paying 95% of my rent, only 10% of my rent. So I will have to pay a little over $400 a month now instead of $60 a month.
The BMW lady, $4,000 a month in food stamps, brand new luxury car, making money on TikTok, and mad someone reported her. If you're driving a 2020 BMW and generating income online, you don't need maximum food assistance, period. The fact she's upset about being reported tells you everything. She knew exactly what she was doing, working the system, and she got caught. This is exactly why public support for these programs erodes. Stories like this make it seem like everyone on assistance is cheating, which isn't true. Most SNAP recipients genuinely need it, but this woman becomes the face of fraud, and now she's complaining the state wants her to sell her luxury car or lose benefits. That's literally how means-tested programs work. People like her make it exponentially harder for everyone who actually needs help to get it or keep it.
Wait a minute. So you telling me she getting $4,000 a month for food stamps? Her rent was only $80 a month for Section 8? And she's driving a BMW and getting government assistance? So $4,000 a month, food stamps, $80 a month, Section 8. Bitch, how many kids you got? And where's your husband?
I went from having $1,100 EBT every month, and that was just with 4 children, to 0. Now, how the fuck am I gonna feed my children? Was the first thing that came to my mind. Then my inner voice was like, girl, you been feeding these children with or without food stamps before you got food stamps, so you could still do it. Like, I told y'all I was gonna take y'all to a food bank with me. When I tell y'all I just left a community event, I'm about to go to another one. I came home to take a break because, baby, it's hot out there. I told my children to Google some food banks that may be open or maybe open next week, you know, so I could take y'all with me. When I tell you they Googled it and they was taking me there, they was GPSing me. Tell me why I pulled up at the food bank and with no food bank. So y'all got to be careful with a GPS take y'all. Because I went to the food bank and there was nothing there but an abandoned building on the other side. But the dot where the pin where the food bank's supposed to be at, it looked like where Pennywise lived at. Wasn't a church. Wasn't a building. Wasn't a house. It was a tunnel with trees and stuff grew over it. I just knew I was about to bring me a box of food home today. But I promise you them children get a meal every night. Whether it's a bologna sandwich, some noodles. Y'all act like y'all don't know how to make struggle meals. Do I need to start a series on how to make a struggle meal? I think I'll do that. Anywho, Pookas, y'all stay tuned because I'm going to show y'all the event we went to earlier. And I'm going to show y'all the one we're going to tonight. And all I did was Google events that's going on in this state, today's date, and they popped up. They had a clothes drive, and they also had the trick or trunks. It was so hot out there. After they trick or trunk, I had to use the bathroom. The building was closed, so I didn't go to the damn, I can't even talk. I didn't go to the clothes drive. And when y'all go to them clothes drives, make sure y'all washing them clothes. It's just like Goodwill. Also, Salvation Army will give you vouchers for clothes if you need clothes. So check with your local Salvation Army. When I come back later, I will post all the Greenville, South Carolina resources because that's all I know. That's home for me. So if you're in Greenville, South Carolina and you need help, make sure you tune in tonight. Baby, I got a buku list of stuff. The Miracle Hill give you furniture for your house if you don't have it. They give you food. They give you clothes vouchers. There's no way anyone should be hungry or without anything with all the resources that's out here. Baby, we just got to find them and put their pride to the side. We all struggling. Everybody need help in some kind of way.
This lady has been waiting a very long time to say what she said. If you missed it, this is Food Stamp Lady, someone who's clearly not in Group 7. She came on Al Gore's internet to judge people who may not get their food assistance next month, to ask them what they did last month with their food assistance last month. This is not a one-off. This isn't one radical lady with some weird thoughts. This is what a significant portion of this population believes. And they have been itching to say something about it for years. To you. To the recipients of food assistance. These people, when they see someone swiping an EBT card, they immediately look at what they bought. Lucky Charms. Oh, skirt steak. Well, I'm here with hot dogs for my children. And in their mind, they're not only having to pay for their groceries, but their tax money is paying for yours as well. And even though that's not how it works, that's how they feel about it. And they've been waiting a long time. And these people have been waiting to wag the finger in their face at desperate people. Keep in mind, the people on assistance are not the deadbeat parent. They're the ones who are willingly taking the children, who continue to provide for them, have a job and a half or two. They're the ones that go to the parent-teacher conferences. They're the ones saving up right now for Christmas. And that food assistance is what keeps the lights on in their house. It keeps them from getting foreclosed on or evicted. It keeps them in the car that brings their children to school. These people, these Christians, these Trump voters, see none of that. They see your Lucky Charms and see it as excessive to them. And they've been waiting to say something for a long time. She may be the only example that we've seen so far. These people want you to know that they don't have pity for you because you've been buying Lucky Charms when you could have been buying oats in bulk.
Well, we have an update on Food Stamp Girl. I have several DMs telling me, go look, go look. Oh, I went and looked. And if you go back to my other video where I tagged her, I stitched her video. And trust me, it's trash. She's trash. Black-hearted, unempathetic, typical fucking MAGA trash. But here we are. So I explained in that video that karma would find a way to find her, because it always does. And it didn't take long. Karma has found her. Karma contacted her job. And she answered. Refused to let Karma speak to her manager. So you know what Karma did? Karma contacted the owner. And then Karma contacted corporate. Corporate responded and said, we are investigating the situation because our views do not align with that. Big surprise. A big business not aligning with MAGA trash? It's always nice to see that.
Karma doesn't miss, ever. Woman posts a rant. It gets reported. Corporate sees it. They say this doesn't represent our values. Now her TikTok creator fund is at risk. Your employer doesn't owe you a platform for whatever opinions you broadcast. Free speech means the government can't arrest you. It doesn't mean your job has to keep you when you become a PR liability. She turned off comments instead of deleting the video. That tells you everything. She wanted the attention, the engagement, but not the consequences. Once something's posted publicly, it's out there. Screenshots exist. Reports get filed. And if your employer decides you're more trouble than you're worth, that's the cost of your choices. Think before you post. Especially if you're employed. Companies will cut you loose rather than deal with defending you.
And then I thought, okay, I'm going to go back and check this out. She has turned off the comments. And I thought, well, why did she just turn off the comments? Why did she just delete the video? It's causing so much havoc in her life. She needs to delete it. Well, there's another video on her page. And she talks about this big rant about how she's at risk of losing her creator fund. You know how else you lose your creator fund? Too many of your videos are reported. See you next Tuesday, bitch.
I just wanted to come on here and thank all the taxpayers for allowing me and my children to eat tonight. So we have some candy yams. These are canned candy yams. We have some... Why do you keep dropping your fork? We have some corn on the cob. We have some cube steak and some rice. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
This video is for all the people complaining about the price of tampons. What'd you do with last month's tampons? Huh? Did you throw them away? Or did you ever think about rinsing them out and letting them sun dry? Using them again? Think smarter. What about buying the store brand instead of the name brand? Huh? Did you think about using the same one for the whole day instead of taking it out every time it starts to leak just a little bit? What about, toxic shock syndrome is made up by the Democrats anyway. What about sharing them? You and your teenage daughter don't need your own tampons.
This is satire. Painfully obvious satire. The reuse your tampons bit is mocking the out-of-touch financial advice wealthy people give poor people. It's parody of the just budget better crowd who've never experienced actual poverty. Here's why this satire lands. We've all seen real advice that's almost this absurd. Stop buying coffee and you'll afford a house. Just earn more money. As if poverty is a mindset issue instead of structural reality. The line about toxic shock syndrome being made up by Democrats captures how conspiracy thinking has infected basic health discussions, and suggesting women get pregnant so you don't have a period. That's highlighting how anti-choice rhetoric ignores economic and physical realities. If you watched this and thought it was serious, that says more about current discourse than anything else.
Maybe you could try skipping a month. Don't have a period. Get pregnant. Then you don't have a period. What do you think about that?
Ladies, y'all know how we normally would go in the grocery store and just be taking our time, looking around, picking up stuff, reading, and seeing what all we want. I bet y'all ain't doing that right now. I just left the grocery store and ran up out of there so fast you would have thought I was stealing. Groceries is so high. I'm about to go to Sam's and get me like a 20-pound bag of rice and some beans, and I'm gonna cook it, and I'm gonna vacuum seal it. That's what I'm gonna be eating, beans and rice. This don't make no sense, y'all. Then they talking about ain't no food stamps next month for the month of November. What these folks gonna do if they ain't got no money? If they ain't got no money and then you ain't getting no stamps, what are people gonna do that have children? I'm so thankful, y'all. I'm going back to the basics. I need to find me some Delta syrup. I'm gonna eat me some syrup sandwiches. No cheese toast. What else we used to eat? Spam. Vienna sausage. That's what I'm gonna be on. Cause y'all, I looked at a pack of cookies. Family pack of cookies, they was $8. $8 for some cookies, y'all. Big bag of chips or something like that. Now, ain't no snacking going on around here. Ain't no snacking. I'm gonna buy me a big box of crackers, big jar of peanut butter, and that's what I'm finna be eating, y'all. It's ridiculous. People gonna have to start getting along out here just to make it. Families is really gonna have to pull together just to be able to survive, y'all. So all them 10, 15, 20-year grudges, y'all gonna have to squash them. We in survival mode out here. Anyway, y'all, them just my thoughts.
Finally, someone who gets it. No threats to steal. No victim mentality. Just practical adjustment. Rice and beans. Peanut butter and crackers. Cutting out snacks. Getting back to basics. This is what actual survival mode looks like. What people do when they're genuinely trying to make it work without destroying their future. And her point about families needing to come together, about squashing old grudges to survive, that's the mindset that actually gets people through hard times. When systems fail, community is what saves you. Not government programs, not corporations. People, family, neighbors, showing up when everything's falling apart. This woman isn't looking for handouts. She's doing what she can with what she has. The difference between her and everyone else? Accountability. She's not blaming the world. She's just dealing with reality and adapting. That's the energy more people need.
This video is for all the people complaining about the price of tampons. What'd you do with last month's tampons? Huh? Did you throw them away? Or did you ever think about rinsing them out and letting them sun dry? Using them again? Think smarter. What about buying the store brand instead of the name brand? Huh? Did you think about using the same one for the whole day instead of taking it out every time it starts to leak just a little bit?
You'd be just fine. You'd have pantry staples, mainly just peanut butter and butter. That's all I'm bringing to the equation. That's the only bit of advice I have, just peanut butter and butter, you dipshits. I could do with $1,100 in food stamps here in this house. Well, if my children hadn't gone no contact with me because I'm an absolute monstrous witch, I could make them at least 4 meals. Learn some manners, you absolute stupid liberal people. That's the American way. Have manners. Work hard for what you get, okay? Don't waste your food stamp money on scratch off tickets, cigarette butts, and Crystal Light. Oh, I'm gonna go make me another loaf of bread with just peanut butter and butter slathered all around it.
Some of y'all claim y'all want to run up in these stores. Go ahead and run up in these stores because, hey, when you get arrested, you're going to come out with a lengthy bill and a lengthy criminal record. Why, I'll be sitting right here with my non-food stamp stamps because I got me a job, a J-O-B, where I go grocery shopping every day go week, where I won't have to worry about the food stamps. And to be real raw and uncut, back in the day, I used to be on food stamps, but when they turned my shit off, I wasn't all frantic and saying, oh my gosh. But I still had me a little job on the side, and I had to get another job to continue living instead of worrying about the government. Because why you want to have that feeling of waking up every daggone month and then you got to get a letter in the mail talking about you want to go downtown? Don't you get tired of that? Don't you want to get a hustle? But you want to sit around talking about, I'm going to run into these stores and run out with a whole cart of bullshit. Go ahead. Because like I said, when you in jail, the only Thanksgiving you gonna get is a dry on cornbread with some corn and a dry ass piece of turkey meat that goes on a sandwich bread, and that's all you gonna get. While I'm gonna be sitting right here chilling with a full course meal across my table with a bunch of family members, and everybody across the world is gonna be doing the same thing while your black ass, because it's most of you black asses is talking like that, are gonna be in jail. Raw and uncut. Don't tell I told you.